Welcome back to Briggs on Books, a truly international talk show about books, about authors, about sources, getting things published, getting things edited. There's so much that goes into getting a book out, and we're trying to have the different people on through the process of getting that done. So many of our viewers are almost authors. They're just trying to get over the finish line. So we're going to bring in a lot of authors who have got across the finish line. And our next guest is Amberlie Johnson. Welcome, Amberlie.
How you doing today?
And you have with you your husband and your book, by the way. Let me pop the cover up here because it's very interesting. Addiction from the Other Side. And it's a book about, I guess, your husband had an addiction, but you're telling it from your side, what you had to go through. Tell us a little bit about the book.
The book is mainly about, like I said, my journey, watching all of this unfold. The one night I found him non-responsive, and literally the color from his face flushed away, and I literally lost him for a few minutes. And then that was the realization that we came to, I came to realize that he had been an addict for a very long time. And so once I went through those kind of things, I wanted to share that with people because I think that you can be blind to it all. And I would just rather not have anyone else go through what I did if we can see those before things.
Now, when you went through this with your husband, Aaron, it's your first time. You're not an expert on how to get through this or what resources you have or things like that. It's all brand new.
That's correct.
Maybe the things you went through, another person, instead of having to go through it themselves, they could read your book and maybe have a little guidance about direction.
Yes. In the book there is even a section where it's like a self-help section. So it gives you phone numbers. It gives you ways to get financing. Because I do work in the health field as well. So I do have a little bit more of a background to say, what should your insurance be, filing for and how it should be filing for and things like that. That way it's saving you more money because let's face it, treatment is very expensive and some people don't choose it and they choose to die or death just because there is no way around the financial part of it to get the help they need.
And was insurance difficult? Were they cooperative? Were they easy?
I mean, at first it was a little bit of a battle, but again, like I said, I kind of know some things, so I was able to call him and talk to him a certain way. That's where I feel like certain generations are not going to have that information. So that was very big for me, to take like a $150,000 bill down to a $1,500 bill.
Yeah, $1,500 is still a lot. Aaron, do you want to tell us part of your story?
Well, I mean, my addiction started out as, a doctor prescribing me medication after I had fallen and hurt myself on the job. And once the medication ran out, I started feeling sick, and I didn't understand what that meant or why I was feeling that way. And come to find out, somebody had told me that it's withdrawals. So
the doctor gave you the prescription, but they didn't help you through that other part.
No, they had given me a prescription for probably 3 months of Vicodin, and it just progressed from there. I started looking for it on the street to not feel that certain way because it literally feels like you have the flu times 10.
Oh boy.
And it just progressed from there.
And so you get through the other end and now you're out trying to find it on the streets. Is that how that goes?
Yes, I was buying it on the streets, and I knew quite a bit of people in my town, so I was able to find it easily, and it just, like I say, it progressed from not just Norco or Vicodin, but it progressed to stronger medications that, developed to a very strong addiction.
Now, Amberlie, when did you first realize there was a problem? Can you hear me, Amberlie?
Yes, I can. I'm sorry.
When did you first find out or realize there was a problem?
I think that I think we all try to look for the best in people,
Yep.
and I think when we really love somebody, we don't think that the thoughts that we're having can't possibly be true, because we love them so desperately, and they do tell us things, and we think that that is the truth. So I think that the night that he literally died in front of me, I knew something was wrong, and I think it took the realization of him coding almost pretty much 7 times before it was where he came to honest, and we had an honest discussion.
Yeah.
And then after that, we worked together to do the treatment, and then unfortunately he had a seizure which led to a stroke. So our like I said, my goal is to make sure that people don't go through this, because he was only 30. And I think that, we've got a long life ahead of us if we do the right things, or at least if we try to speak up.
Yeah. Now, the book, I got a million questions, so let me sort them out.
Okay.
Would you say he hit rock bottom? That was the rock bottom. That's the point. I hear this over and over. That's when you need to really realize you need to make a change. And
Yes.
Aaron, do you think you could have done it without Amberlie's support?
It's hard saying. I mean, I was doing so many things every day just to try to get by. I mean, my addiction had risen to $100 to $150 every day.
Yeah.
So I had to come to terms with that and trying to find a way to get that money every day. And then it just came to the point where I ended up in the hospital because I was literally dying. And without Amber's help, I mean, it's really, I don't know if it's so much her that would have helped me. It was the matter of, I mean, she definitely was the one who kept me alive the night that it all happened. But as far as getting through the addiction part, it's in yourself that you have to want to stop. You have to find that rock, like say rock bottom, or not even always rock bottom, because some people find the rock bottom, but then they come back out and they continue to do it. You got to find it in yourself to want to quit.
You know, there's a stigma to addiction, and because, you know, in the 60s, the period I'm from, in 70s and 80s, people would go party, they'd do the marijuana, then they graduate to cocaine, and they graduate to heroin. So it was a result of their choices, bad choices of partying and stuff. But now in the 2000s and 2020s, we realize a lot of people got addicted from their doctor, and there shouldn't be a stigma like, oh, you did something wrong, or you're out partying and you ended up this way. It's just you were hurt, your doctor prescribed you something legal, and he's a professional, you want to count on him, and then you end up addicted.
Yeah, and it's also the point where what I've seen even in working in the health field is like when we start those kind of things, then they're left on this high dose, and then they're left, after procedures or whatever, and it's like, okay, you'll do fine. Well, there's still that withdrawal that happens, and then that's when they start to turn to other ways because the doctors aren't prescribing it anymore. So they're like, well, what do I do? I'm still not feeling good.
Yeah.
And then that's where, you start to go to the streets and you start to look at other ways of finding anything that will help cover that.
I'm going to put the cover of the book up again, Amberlie. Tell us about the book. What's in the book?
So the book, I have it too in front of me. I had included not only, like I said, passages of what I went through, but also pictures. I did some illustrations throughout, which is a little different. But I felt like sometimes when we visually see things, it's more impactful than just reading it itself. Yeah. So, there's pictures in there of like him in the hospital bed, and there's a picture of what I know goes on nowadays with kids and pill parties and things like that. which is something that, we need to, parents need to be aware of. So like I did a chapter of that too, because I felt like, a lot of times I know we're parents, right? I mean, I'm not a parent myself, but I do know that this day and age, there's just way more. It's not just about, everyone going out and having something to drink. It's just not like that no more. We're all doing other things that start to get really dangerous, because nobody knows what's in these big old pill bowls, and they're just taking multiple things because that's what's going on now.
Right.
And that's a scary, scary thing. But also, there's one in here that I like the most that I put in there that says family and friends with therapy and God, and that's healing together. Because
Nice.
I really think that it takes a whole team, it takes a team to make sure that that person succeeds. It is their choice to get better, definitely.
Yeah, they have to decide. They have to decide to get better. Yeah, I see.
You want to tell that person to get better, it has to be them.
Who needs
But
this
you
book?
have to be able to support them.
Who needs this book? Who should read this book?
I definitely think parents. I think people that are having addiction of any sort, not just opiates. I think it can open your eyes for a lot of things. Family. I mean, it is definitely for maybe that mother, that father, or that grandmother, or whoever is seeing certain kind of signs, and they're like, something's going on. And this can help. It's like, and it's very raw. I was very real and raw. I didn't cut anything out, because people really need to know that this is like, it's not candy coating or sugar coating any of this. It's really what it was.
Yeah, I think the answer you just gave me is everybody should read this book.
Yes.
What about teenagers? Is it too early for them, or can this maybe help scare them straight a little bit?
I would say not at all, because they can search their grandparents' cabinets or their mother and father's cabinets and all of a sudden find pain relievers, and mom and dad or grandma and grandpa wouldn't even notice that there's some missing.
Yeah.
Right.
And then all of a sudden they have an issue, and then all of a sudden they have to turn to the streets to get what they need to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Amberlie, I put some info on the screen. Your Facebook, Amberlie Johnson, easy enough to find. What will they find there? More information about the book?
Correct. I do have some links on there. We're doing some promotional marketing too of different ads that will kind of appeal to all ages. Like I said, teenagers, it's great. Eye-opener, as well as, like I said, in parents and even older, even our grandparents and stuff. So.
Yeah. And I think the message I got from you guys is you don't have to look for the bad kid, the kid out doing bad things. Just a regular guy like Aaron could, get addicted by his doctor. And
Exactly.
So there's probably a lot of people, more people than we realize out there addicted. We just lost the actor Matthew Perry, and he talked about kind of a similar thing. And he would go to real estate open houses, and he'd go through people's medicine cabinets and steal their medication. So that kind of thing goes on. We're really out of time, Amber, but I just want to give you a minute. Anything else you want our viewers to know?
I just want people to realize that addiction is a very real thing. And if you do see signs, at least reach out to somebody, and don't do it by yourself, because it will not be successful for you. You need to reach out.
Yeah, let me just clarify. Your book, Addiction, I'll put the cover up again. It could sort of serve as a guidebook for somebody seeking the answers about a friend, relative, or something like that?
I put those ideas and thoughts in there so that you can kind of look for the signs and symptoms. That way maybe there is a way to stop it before it gets to the point where you're not seeing that life in that person anymore.
And hopefully if somebody reads this book, they won't just, like I say, stigmatize the person who's having an issue,
Exactly.
But they can maybe understand that, it's a thing. They didn't cause it especially, but now they have to deal with it. So I'm very inspired by both of you, by the way.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that.
I'm really glad you took the time to do this. I know getting over addiction's hard. Getting a book out is very hard too. I know it's a lot of work, and you went through a lot to get where you are, Amberlie.
All right.
We'll have you back again. By the way, let me put the cover up. Wouldn't this be a nice Christmas gift? I mean, where's it for sale? Is it for sale on Amazon?
Yes, it's on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and even our publisher website, which is also on my Facebook page, so you can go there.
My point is, go there, wherever you go, order it, but don't order a copy. Order 5 copies and give a couple out as gifts. What a nice gift. I think it would be a very thoughtful gift, and
Yes.
I think it's a good idea. So Amberlie, Johnson, and Aaron, I really appreciate your time, and I'm moved by what you've told us, and I look forward to having you back on the show again.
Alrighty, sir. Thank you.
We'll be back with more Briggs on Books right after this.